Hi, I'm Holly McFarland. I am the PR Director for East Texas Communities Foundation, and we host the annual event, East Texas Giving Day. And every year, as part of our promotion for East Texas Giving Day, we provide nonprofits with some education outreach for content that will help them along the way and have a successful campaign. So this year, we are focusing on some best practices, and I've gone back and looked at some of our best performers from last year, and today I have one of those with me. So would you like to tell us your name and the organization you're with?
Sure. I'm Justin Hayes, and I'm with the Fostering Collective, and we exist to recruit and shepherd Christ-centered families in East Texas to help children in foster care. And
how long have you been with this organization?
Well, this organization was just founded about 2 years ago, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So were you on the ground roots of so you've been there since inception?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Okay. And how did you find out about East Texas Giving Day?
Well, honestly, I just started seeing the first couple of years that you did East Texas Giving Day. I'm not sure how many years you've done it, but just seeing some of the wonderful things that came out of it. And so I think really the big thing with East Texas Giving Day, especially starting a new organization, is that everything is small when you first start out. And so if there's any way that you can expand your audience and be able to reach some people that you wouldn't normally be able to reach, and also jump on board with something that you already see as successful, then that's a win for you and hopefully a win for everybody else.
That's great. So East Texas Communities Foundation is kind of the megaphone for East Texas Giving Day, and we have a lot of media partners across our 32 county service area. So that's great. You capitalized on those relationships that we are building in those territories to help expand your missions. So that's great. Was 2020 your first Giving Day? I think you said yes, right?
Actually, 2019 was our first Giving Day, and it was a wonderful experience for us, and so that just energized us to want to do as much as we could in 2020.
So did you have a goal set for your organization for East Texas Giving Day?
Yes, we did, and honestly, we had someone offer a matching donation, which I think is a huge opportunity to energize your people as well as some new people. And so we had set a goal based on that matching donation, and so that allowed us early on to start working on reaching that goal.
Do you mind if I ask how early on? The event's in April. It's the last Tuesday in April. We usually do a kickoff at the end of the December, January area. So how long did you formulate your plan?
I think each organization has to decide which events they're really going to take seriously. And so we have decided to take East Texas Giving Day seriously. And so we started planning for this year the day after last year, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Just thinking about ideas and what we wanted to do moving forward. But the real planning probably starts in January.
Okay, very good. So did your staff or you take advantage of some of the online trainings that we offered last year? We had a variety of them, so.
Yes, we definitely watched some of those. We have a communications coordinator, and so she had just come on board with us, and so there was a wonderful opportunity to just give her those links and let her watch those things.
Immerse her in the content.
Yes, exactly.
And last year it was very helpful. We had already planned on switching to a webinar platform because of the complexity of our territory. We do serve those 32 counties, and it's hard to get everyone at all the time, to take advantage of everything if there's that much drive time. So we'd already switched. It was kind of helpful in the year of COVID to have that.
Well, I think the whole idea of East Texas Giving Day, whenever we as an organization, in about early March, you start seeing all these events getting canceled and everything. As an organization, whenever you are relying on these events, it was so wonderful to think about East Texas Giving Day and think, well, we're going to do things differently, but it's not going to be canceled no matter what. And so that was really neat.
Yeah, we were proud that we had an online event.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so walk me through your campaign. How did you go about promoting your involvement in East Texas Giving Day? I know you mentioned the match, so that was probably a catalyst. So tell us a little bit more about how the plan came together.
Right. Well, I think the biggest thing that I would really recommend for everyone is to build a team, first of all. You can't do this on your own. And if you try to do it on your own, then it's almost like your whole audience knows that you're doing it on your own. And so if you build a team, and it's so refreshing because you can bounce the ideas off of each other and you can start formulating a plan together. And so we built a team, and we call it our awareness team and or development team. And so we just kind of worked off ideas, and they came up with so many cool ideas for building up to it as well as the day of.
Very good, very good. Okay, so you mentioned a match. Match is, we feel at East Texas Communities Foundation, a very important part of someone's campaign. So you mentioned a match, and through that match, how did you find the supporter? Did you have did you use a combination of donors or board members? How did you solicit to get a match?
Well, I think with matching donations, these are the people that have been by your side for a long time, and so there's really a friendship there, and there's a trust there. But there's also, there's the hope on your side to be able to honor them as much as possible. And so these are people that I've known for a while. They're not board members, but they know that part of their gift is to be able to give their treasure. And so we're so thankful for that, and that they are using that and able to double their money as others are, doubling. And so it helps everyone.
So it sounds like you found someone who wants to use as the inspiration for others to support the mission and the love for your work. So that's a great way to utilize someone's passion for what you do.
And what was exciting about that was I was talking to the matching donors the day of, throughout the day, and to hear that they are watching it just like we are, and so it's exciting. It's really
because
cool.
that shows they are an invested partner and they want your success.
Yes.
They're going to help do whatever they can to make your mission and your goals come true. So that's great. So pre-scheduled giving, you guys did really good. Pre-scheduled giving started a week earlier than normal. And during that pre-scheduled, you were able to raise about $18,000 towards your goal. Was that like icing on the cake and now it's time to go? Like, what was the team's plan during pre-scheduled giving?
Yeah, I got some great advice from Kevin East with the Mentoring Alliance, and he shared that with East Texas Giving Day, along with other things, you don't want to just wait and hope that somebody gives. You need to be doing the groundwork along the way. And so pre-scheduled giving is a wonderful opportunity to engage your board and ask them to give early. But it's also a wonderful way to engage some of your donors that have been along the journey for a while, and that just really helps to raise excitement. And so there's no guesswork. There's always going to be a lot on the day of where you're hoping to have more and things like that. But if you have not talked to anybody in advance, then you're kind of hoping for something that's probably not going to show up.
Yeah, not to the level that you need. Exactly. Okay, so we lightly touched on it. March, the world got shut down due to COVID. Our governor shut our state down, and everyone was kind of like in a holding pattern and really didn't know what direction we were going to go. And ours was an online event. So did you guys sit around and go, okay, we got to regroup? What was the strategy? Did it just mean that you buffed up your Facebook social media promotions? Like, what was the approach when that happened? Because knowing that the event was, imminent, it was coming.
Right. Well, we definitely had some plans that had to be changed, and you have Plan A and then Plan B, and then you get to like Plan D or E. But the great thing was that we did have some plans in place, and that we had that team that could work together to change things. And so if you're doing it by yourself, when all that happens, it can be easy to lose heart and kind of give up in some ways. But whenever you got that team, everybody's feeding off of each other, and so you keep the energy and the optimism there. And so we were going to do some things on launch day as well as giving day that were in person at a restaurant, but we knew we couldn't do that, and so we just had to figure out different ways of doing it.
So just out of curiosity, we don't know what April of 2021 will look like just yet. Do you feel like by having this moment of pivot that we all had to experience, does it make you rethink some of those public fundraising events that you could actually pull them off in a more remote setting? I mean, the in-person is never going to be replaced, but do you feel like, hey, that was a learning opportunity that I think we could actually implement that again?
Yes, we are. Of course, we're already planning for April, but in our planning, we're thinking about what are some things that can't be canceled. What are some things that we can do and stay socially distanced? Of course, we hope that we're past that by April, but we were also hoping that last year, and we see where we are. But I think that staying flexible is a huge thing, but also putting some things in place that you feel like can run no matter what.
Very good. I like your thinking ahead. Okay, so social media, you used it to promote yourselves. Do you have any tips, tricks, or ideas that you want to share? Things that you saw that were successful? Did you do Facebook Lives? Did you use Twitter, Instagram? What was the path that you used to promote on social?
Well, I think the thing with social media, with everything else, is if you have a team doing it, then it's going to help quite a bit. Because if I just post something and hope that people are going to share it, then it might get shared, it might not. But if I have a team that's already ready to share things, or if I have people that are posting for me, then that's going to help. And so it's not all just based out of the Fostering Collective posting something. They're seeing that we have other people that believe in what we're doing, and they are sharing it. And so that's a great way. You can have your team be focused on that, but you can also reach out to your broader audience and ask them to help you post things.
Yes, that's perfect. That's building on that circle of influence. You are grabbing one person and their 20 friends, share it to their 20 friends, and it really does grow your message. Right.
And I think, you even talked about the matching donation, which that was a huge part. Yeah. But the day of, sometimes people don't like to talk about money. We need $70 more, or we need $800, or whatever that is. And so we chose to go with people. We chose to make a goal of we would love to have 100 people donate. And so you can pick something in your organization that would mean something. Like if we know that in foster care, that right now there are 22 children in Smith County that are waiting for their forever families. And so you can use that 22 number and ask if people will donate $22. But you can also say, we'd love to have 22 people donate in the next hour or over the day.
Which is great because it comes to their level. You don't know what their giving capacity, right, especially at that moment in time. Right. There was so much uncertainty. You don't know what their giving capacity was. So their $10 could be a significant gift.
Yes. And it gets you, it's new donors for the future. And so if you don't raise as much as what you would like to raise, you still, because East Texas Communities Foundation is going to give you all that information, and so those donors are yours now once they've given.
Yeah, oh, for sure. We encourage you to steward those folks, right. We host a stewardship training as well, and this year it will happen prior to Giving Day. We've, in the past, typically hosted the stewardship training post-event. We have gotten some feedback that it might be better to do it on the front end so you guys can plan ahead accordingly to figure out how to capture those names and those individuals and steward them. So we've changed that for you guys. So prizes. You might have won a couple. I'm not sure. So did you have a strategy for prizes? Those are released usually around April 1st. The events, like I said, the last Tuesday of April. So did you have a strategy to implement to make people aware that you could win some extra cash?
Yes, we did have a strategy. I'm not going to tell you my strategy.
That's fine, just as long as you had one.
But I think that those incentives are wonderful, and I think that's a great thing for our organizations because it doesn't matter the size of your organization. I think that's one huge thing about East Texas Giving Day is there are a lot of larger organizations participating, but smaller organizations are able to thrive in a setting like this if you do it right and if you do strategize. But I think the other thing with there's the prizes that you offer, which yes, we did have a strategy for, but there's also incentives that you can offer your donors, and that was another big thing too. Is that we tried to offer quite a few incentives, and it just makes it more fun. Yeah. Like we offered a free T-shirt for the first 30 people that gave. And so, yes, the T-shirts cost us something, but when they're giving a donation, it's going to cost more than that T-shirt, and it's going to be matched. And so that's wonderful. And then sometimes you're getting a new donor And so all of that coming together helps. But you can also have businesses donate items that you can then use as incentives for people. And so it just really creates a good, fun atmosphere where people are enjoying giving to give to a cause, but they're also enjoying, getting the incentives.
Yeah. Well, then that's a full-time marketing too, because if you have a T-shirt that you have given someone, then they're going to wear it. Everyone loves a good T-shirt, and so there you've got a marketing soldier out there on the street for you. So it's a very clever. You get points for it. Okay. Towards the conclusion of East Texas Giving Day that night, y'all were very complimentary of our work, and we were thankful for that. But one of the things that you told me was that the fundraiser, the online 18-hour fundraiser, yielded about a quarter of your overall budget for the organization. So, I mean, kudos to you for that. Like I've said, that's a great 18-hour day, although I know it took 4 months to get there.
Right.
What would you credit that to? Is it primarily the match, or is it your great team, or just the groundswell of publicity that you got from the event?
Well, I think with something like this, it's got to be everything. Each part of it helps out, but each one by itself wouldn't have done it. And there was times, even in the evening, we're watching right up until midnight, hoping that there will be some late gifts, some late donations. And I was at that time where I know all the people that were supposed to give have already given, and so I'm just praying that there'll be one more person or two more people or three more people. And but it really, again, that's a thing with, it wasn't just me watching that evening, it was a team watching, and it was our greater audience watching, and it was the matching donor watching. And so all of us coming together, I think, was the biggest factor. And for an organization like ours, we are all about raising awareness, but not awareness for us. We want to raise awareness for children in foster care. We want to raise awareness for how people can help with that. And if we're constantly having to hit people with donation, then it's tough to balance those two things. And so that's where East Texas Giving Day is so wonderful, because we can put all our effort into this one day, and then when that's done, we can focus then solely on awareness as far as outwardly. Of course, we will steward those donors, but it'll be a quieter thing. It won't be in public as much.
So I'm proud that you said that you worked through midnight, through the final moments of the day. A lot of the times people call it a day. They've been successful at 5 p.m. and they're going home, which is admirable. Don't get me wrong. We all have lives outside of our office, but the event goes through midnight, and you can definitely tell on social media when the chatter slows down and the people who are still out there putting out content. And you can tell the difference. I do encourage you to do scheduled, but you can tell the difference between a scheduled comment and a real live living action photo, type thing, with a reaction of someone. And so I do encourage all participants to hang in there for that one day and see if you can, try to stay on as long as you can, but it really does help generate donations into the evening.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but we were short about $5,000 at the very end of the day. And so at 11:55, I'm like, well, what we raised was very good, is very helpful, and you start saying those things to yourself. And at 11:59, we got a $5,000 donation that finished off the match and everything else.
Well, that was a gift.
and that person even texted me after and said, I hope it went through in time. I was having trouble with my credit card. And so it was, oh man, it was a wonderful time. I probably woke up the whole house celebrating, and also texting with my team, who was all still up. And so most of them, and then we woke up those that were not up. And so it was just a great, wonderful day.
Oh yeah, that's a blessing. Kudos. That's exciting.
And then you get to go back to all the people that donated, everyone, and celebrate with everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is also, please make sure you have a plan to follow through with making everyone aware of what your success looked like for the day, whether it was capturing X amount of new donors, or your financial success, or meeting your match, or X amount of donors. Whatever your goal set was, share it. Make sure people are aware that you did accomplish that. Just some interesting facts for you. your average gift size was $293. Yeah, pretty good, huh? So that falls in line with what our overall average gifts were for the event. So you were right there with them. And over half of your donors that day said they were first-time donors to your organization. So that's a great accomplishment to receive all of those new people interested in your mission and want to that you can steward and you can work with later on. So your overall total on the leaderboard report was 62,000. So that's amazing. 30,000 of that was the matching gifts that you guys had. So you had a very successful day. Do you have any other tips, tricks, or encouragement for our participants for 2021?
I'd just say, first of all, you have to believe in what you're doing. If you don't believe in what you're doing, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, then you need to pick a different line of work. And you also need to put your money where your mouth is. And what that means is you need to be willing to put literally your money in. And I think that it starts with you. It starts with you, and then it starts with your team, and knowing that each of you are bought in is going to help you to be able to then tell others and share with others and ask others, knowing that you really believe in what you're doing and that you believe enough that you have invested your own money. And there's a lot to say that people can invest their time, they can invest their talents, but there's something, especially in East Texas, about investing your own treasure that just helps you it humbles you because you know that you're sacrificially giving, but it also I think others can tell that.
I love it. Thanks. I look forward to working with you again in 2021. It's going to be exciting. All right. Thanks. We'll see you soon. Bye.